Lewis Hamilton has demanded Formula One's owners take significant action after 8 members of his World Championship-winning Mercedes team were held at gunpoint in a harrowing robbery on Friday night. The incident took place at 10 p.m. local time shortly after the crew, consisting mainly of mechanics, had left the Interlagos circuit. One of the staff had a gun held to his head while shots were also fired by the armed men. Watches, laptops and passports were stolen in the hold-up, with a member of Mercedes staff now flying to São Paulo to bring back up passports. In an earlier incident on Friday evening, a car transporting ahea officials was targeted by 3 masked assailants, 2 of whom were brandishing guns, with one cracking a gun on the passenger window. The ahea staff escaped unharmed due to their quick-thinking driver. In a third flashpoint, members of the British-based Williams team had a narrow escape after a van was held up in front of their minibus as they headed back to their hotel. The team confirmed it had witnessed a van being targeted at gunpoint ahead of them, but its staff managed to get away. The Interlagos race, which takes place in Brazil's largest city, São Paulo, has been targeted by armed thieves before. Britain's Jenson Button was ambushed by gunmen when he left the Interlagos track back in 2010. 3 Sauber engineers were robbed at gunpoint on the same evening. World champion Hamilton said after crashing out of qualifying, "I was horrified to hear what had happened. I am very close to those guys. The frustrating thing is I have been in F1 for 10 years and every year that has happened to someone in the paddock. Things should be in place to keep everyone safe. And it's for the people at the top to take action to keep everyone safe. It's no good just the bosses or myself having security, everyone else needs to be looked after. I hope there is some way that we can move on without it happening again. I hope there will be meetings here about the future and that everyone is protected." Mercedes chief Toto Wolff added, "We shouldn't need armed vehicles, bulletproof cars or armed agents to make it safe from the track to the hotel. Maybe our approach in the past was too lenient because Brazil is a good country. It must have been a scary moment for the guys, and being stopped at gunpoint must be awful. They have ramped up security this morning. It looked like civil war had broken out on the streets. Let's see how we go tonight." Hamilton's Mercedes team are now set to travel in convoy for the remainder of the weekend. British team McLaren will also ride in tandem, with a police escort. Some of the 8 members of the Mercedes team will now fly home after the race on Sunday evening, instead of their original flight, scheduled to leave São Paulo on Monday night. The incidents, which are likely to raise security concerns ahead of the penultimate round of the season, mark the second time in a little more than 12 months a Mercedes staff member has been robbed at gunpoint. Last year in Mexico, a team member, traveling in a chauffeur-driven vehicle from Mexico City Airport to the Mercedes Hotel, was targeted by 2 gunmen. The member of the Mercedes team and driver were unhurt in the ordeal.